Well, hello, Kentucky. I'm Bernie Miller, and I know Luke Ramsey. We met at a dinner at an MIT REAP session, and Luke introduced me to Sam Ford, and that's how networks work. And at the center of it is our experience with MIT REAP and good people like Dr. Phil Budden, who y'all are going to meet tonight. Hey, Dr. Phil, thanks for coming to Nova Scotia. A couple of my friends and I want to tell you about the Nova Scotia story and share a bit about what came after our program at MIT. But the story starts on February 12, 2014. On screen you can see a title page for a report, Now or Never, an urgent call to action for Nova Scotians. That report was issued over 7 years ago. So what was it all about? Well, after 2 years of study, a panel had concluded our home province was on the brink of an extended period of decline. 3 factors were highlighted: an aging and shrinking population, very low rates of economic growth, and needed changes on the cultural level. First and foremost, basic changes in our shared attitudes and our understandings. Why am I telling you this story? Because, well, by coincidence, I left a successful career as a lawyer on February 17th, 2014, 5 days after this report, and I became the Deputy Minister of Planning and Priorities in our province. So my role was planning and priorities. The report made priority setting easy, stopped the extended period of decline. So the priority wasn't the challenge, it was how to do it, and that was the hard part. So I called my friend Jeff Larson and asked him and many others what we should do. And now Jeff's going to tell you some of what we did. Most importantly, our MIT REAP journey and what it led to. Over to you, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Larson. I'm Assistant Vice President of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Dalhousie, and I lead the Creative Destruction Lab in Atlantic Canada. So Bernie has talked to us a bit about the productivity challenges we had both in Canada and in Nova Scotia. What are ways you can address that? Increasing scale, upgrading skills, and really embracing innovation. All of these are really forms of new and innovative ways of doing things better, and they are the core of the productivity challenge. What role does startups have? Well, startups have been shown by the Kauffman Foundation in the US to be the net job creators over the last 50 years. Large companies, will lose a lot of jobs while they're gaining new jobs, and Main Street kind of entrepreneurs are pretty steady state as far as job growth. But it's really the innovation-driven entrepreneurs that are creating net new jobs. So if we're going to increase our GDP per capita, we're going to have to rely on innovation. And if we want to increase jobs, we're going to have to rely on new high-growth entrepreneurships. And why does this matter? It matters because essentially economic growth, or GDP per capita, reflects both our standard of living, how much money we have available, for our housing, for our food, for entertainment, for health, for all these things, and it forms the tax base, which allows government to support, health, education, social services, and more. We know that the driver of innovation-driven entrepreneurship has been Silicon Valley, but people are starting to realize that there's a bit of a texodus happening from Silicon Valley, and people want to be in other places, smaller centers, places where it's more affordable, places where you can have easy access to the outdoors and a whole variety of things. So that creates opportunities for regions like Nova Scotia and Kentucky. We put together our REAP team almost 7 years ago with multi-stakeholder groups, and one of the first things we had was our must-win battle. And we decided to look deep at where we have cluster strengths, and one of them was the ocean economy. The ocean economy is currently $1.5 trillion and expected to double over the next 10 years as we move from things like aquaculture, which on the left is old technology, to new offshore, more sustainable technology like you see on the right, which involves robotics, AI, sensors, data, and advanced genomics. We're going from traditional shipping models to models like this, autonomous ships. The boat on the left is actually one of our CDL Oceans companies that's making its manufacturing in Nova Scotia. Those are autonomous ships doing work from marine geosurveying to transporting goods. We're all familiar with traditional sources of energy, and now we have new sources of ocean-related energy, including offshore wind and tidal energy on the right. DigitalOcean has tremendous networking challenges. It's very hard to communicate underwater and involves the very cutting edge of all tech. And we're starting to see that play out in companies, scalable ocean tech companies in a whole variety of areas. So our must-win battle was to enhance this through something called Canada's Ocean Supercluster. It was a $300 million 5-year project to bring together some of the ocean assets we have and have multi-sectoral collaboration between companies, universities, and government at the forefront of oceans. We created a multi-jurisdictional research institute, $200 million 7-year ocean science project based in Atlantic Canada, but also including like MIT Woods Hole, Columbia University, and others in Europe, focused on sustainable fisheries, sustainable aquaculture, ocean data and technology, and marine safety. With Dalhousie and IBM have a $30 million AI and ocean data research program that we launched. We created the Center for Ocean Ventures and Entrepreneurship, which is on a 9-acre site, and it's an incubator for ocean tech startups right on the ocean. We created a startup project to create more and better ocean startups in the region. These are some of the ocean innovators from our region that are coming out of the startup project or related programs. And we launched something called CDL Oceans. So CDL, or Creative Destruction Lab, started in Canada in Toronto. We're now at the University of Oxford, HSA Paris, Georgia Tech, University of Madison, Wisconsin, University of Washington in Seattle. And there's several different specialty streams. And in Atlantic Canada, we launched a specialty ocean stream. CDL has created over $8 billion in equity value over the last 10 years, supporting more than 1,200 companies. In Atlantic Canada, we started 4 years ago, and we have just about $500 million in equity value creation over that time period. We developed a stream of programming at the university to create more and better startups. It includes programs like ICOR for Canada and MIT's Delta V Summer Accelerator, which they helped us launch. And we created a new hub for hard tech or tough tech startups, much like MIT's The Engine, although ours is a very nascent new version. And now we're starting to see results. So we've had more than $10 billion of exits and IPOs since 2011, including IBM acquiring Q1 Labs for more than $500 million, Salesforce buying about $400 million of companies. Verafin was acquired for almost $2 billion by NASDAQ and several others. Startup Genome has ranked Atlantic Canada's the 4th fastest growing startup ecosystem in the activation or early stage, and a top 15 ecosystem for bang for your buck, which is a measurement of early stage funding compared to cost of technical talent. Halifax, which is the capital of Nova Scotia, was ranked 36th in the top 50 global cities for venture capital deals per capita, according to NYU's Rise of the Global Startup City report. And we're ranked 2nd in Canada for venture deals and 6th for total venture investment. So a lot has happened since we started MIT, the REAP program. We went deep to focus on our ocean tech startup community, but we also went wide to support all kinds of startups in different areas, from digital to hard tech and clean tech. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, we're always here to support you, Kentucky, and best of luck on your journey. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex McCann. I'm the executive director at a not-for-profit organization called Onside. We are focused on fostering inclusive, innovation-driven entrepreneurship and disruptive ideas such as MIT REAP here in our province of Nova Scotia. As you heard from my colleagues, Bernie and Jeff, Nova Scotia a few years ago was on a very difficult path. We had to make some key decisions around how we were going to stimulate and grow our economy in a way that was going to make sense for us. And in fact, we had an urgent call to action. We tried a lot of different things, but one of the things that really worked for us was bringing our stakeholders together from different industries and sectors through the MIT REAP program, which led to us winning our must-win battle, which was the Ocean Supercluster. The other thing that came out of that was actually the creation of Onside as a backbone organization that was designed to continue the work of the MIT REAP team and program and make sure that these learnings and experiences didn't get lost, and working to foster them more throughout our communities. We've had a lot of great things that we've been focused on in 2021. In addition to, thinking about COVID-19, we continue our mission to convene, connect, and catalyze an innovation-driven entrepreneurial community here in Nova Scotia. And we do that through a couple of different ways, including leveraging collective impact, championing inclusive innovation-driven entrepreneurship, and sharing knowledge about different ideas around how to do this. We've done a lot of great things and had a lot of great projects, everything from launching a Nova Scotia Innovation Tour. We do some training around helping investors learn how to invest in startups. We even have a podcast, which I hope that you might even consider listening to. Some of the work that we're focused on now is really about translating some of the knowledge and experience that we had from our first MIT REAP team down to a much more localized level and working with 5 regional communities across Nova Scotia. We're also focused on trying to better understand who's included and who's not in an innovation economy and who benefits from the activities that happen in innovation economy. And we've put out an inclusive innovation monitor to take a look at some of these and think about where we might be able to go next. One of the things that I'm sure is very important to you Kentuckians is how to keep going with your MIT REAP success and thinking about how to engage stakeholders for that next level of activity. To really engage and activate your strategies. And one of the most important things is really engaging with your stakeholders, whether those are the entrepreneurs, the corporates, the other community leaders that can really make a difference in driving change in Kentucky. One of the things that we took away from the MIT REAP program was how to leverage collective impact as a framework for doing that kind of work, getting people together to really figure out what made sense. What was the common agenda or common vision? Who was interested in participating and creating methodologies to bring those people together and create ways of working together and collaborating to see it through? Everybody likes a great idea, but everybody likes it when something actually happens even better. And so a few tips that I will leave you with as you consider what your next journey will look like and what the great Kentucky think will do for your community and who can participate and really join in with your work. These are a few tips that I have with working with your stakeholders. Number 1, follow the energy. Try a few things first. Not all of them will work. Stay open because not everything will work, but if you keep your eye on the prize, you can make a lot of progress. Engage, but don't overwhelm your entrepreneurs. They're busy and they have a lot of things going on. Your corporates, they want to help too. And don't forget to stay in touch.